Hello STEAM team, this is Morgan with Virtual Camp, and today we're going to get creative. This week is Tropical Week, and so I want to know, what do you think of when you think of the word tropical? Do you think of a rainy rainforest in the Amazon, or do you think of a sunny beach on Hawaii? Normally I think of a tropical rainforest with lots of interesting and exotic animals, and so today we're going to be doing a craft based on some jumping frogs. Specifically, we're going to be doing origami jumping frogs, and if you don't know what origami is, it's basically the art of folding paper. It originated in Japan, and it's very easy. All you need is your hands and some paper. So here's an example of some of the jumping frogs we're going to be making. And like I said, it doesn't really involve any materials besides paper in your hand, so I have my paper right here. It doesn't matter which paper you use. You could use printer paper, cardstock paper, journal paper, but printer paper is probably what I would recommend, only because it's thin enough to fold easily, but it's not so thin that it's gonna rip. So I'm gonna give you guys a second to get your supplies, and then we're gonna get started. Okay, STEAM team, so now we have our paper and we're gonna get started. So the first thing you need to do before anything else is you need your paper to be in a square, because whenever you do origami, you're just doing it with a square piece of paper. And since we only have paper, we don't have scissors, I'm gonna show you an easy way to make it into a square without having to cut or anything. So you're gonna take one of the top corners of your paper, it doesn't matter which side, and you're just gonna fold it over so that the top edge is lined up with one of the side edges. So I'm just going to take this corner and I'm going to put the corner down so that this top edge is lined up with the side edge. I'm just going to crease it. So I'll show you again. I just took it and I lined it up like this, so now it's like that. And now we have this extra rectangle right here, and you're just going to fold it back so you can't see it anymore. So that's kind of how it looks on the front. That's how it looks on the back. And just drag your finger across it. And then just fold it the other way and drag your finger across it again. And then when you unfold it, you just put your one hand on the triangle and you take your other hand and you pull it away from the triangle, and it should make a nice clean rip. There we go. So now that rectangle's gone and we have a square. So now that we have our square, we're gonna do 10 steps to get to our frog. We're gonna do kind of the more simple version. The first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna fold our paper in half, and it doesn't matter which way you do it because it's a square, so it's gonna be even either way. Okay. Now we folded it in half, it's a rectangle. And now we're gonna do something very similar to what we just did to make our paper into a square. You're just gonna take one of the top corners and line it up so that the top edge is lined up with one of the side edges. So I'm just taking the top corner and folding it over so that the top edge is lined up with the side edge. And now we're going to unfold it and do it with the other side. So I'm taking the other top edge, folding it over, so it's lined up with the side edge. I'm going to unfold it, and now you can kind of see there's like this crisscross shape. And you're just going to take these two edges of the square and kind of push them together. So it's gonna kind of start looking like this, and once it starts looking like that, you can just press this down. So it's kind of making a point. There we go. And you just want to smooth it out. And now, for our next step, we're gonna be making our little legs of our frog, our front legs. So on this little triangle area right here, you can kind of see we have some two pointy edges of our triangle that are sticking up, and you want to fold the paper so that the edge is pointing towards the top of the triangle. So I'm just taking the edge and folding it so that corner is facing the top of the triangle. So you can kind of see I just went like this. So they're both facing up, and now we're gonna do it with the other side. So it looks a little wonky on the bottom, but you're not gonna see the bottom, you're just gonna see the top. You just want them to be facing up. And now you can see that there's this square on the bottom, and you're just gonna fold it in half upwards. So take the bottom edge, line it up with the top edge, and it just goes from being a square to a rectangle on the bottom. And we're getting close to the end. We only have a couple more steps. Our next step is that you're going to take one of the edges, either edge, we're going to do it with both sides, and just fold it over so that this side edge is kind of meeting in the middle. So you're just folding it so that it just meets in the middle. So I did my one side, and then I'm going to do my other side. It should look like that on the bottom. And then we have our last and final step, not too hard. You just fold the bottom up. You just gotta crease it a little bit so it stays. There we go. And we have our jumping frog. Like I said, this is the less complicated version. This was about 11 steps. And it doesn't jump as well as the more complicated version. This is the more complicated version. This is 16 steps. So if you want a challenge, that'll be posted on Blooms for you to look at. If the folding was just too complicated, it was a little too difficult to follow and understand, I recommend that maybe you could draw a frog and look up some facts about the different types of frog, and then draw your picture based on that. So maybe you look up Goliath frog, and Goliath frogs are really big. So you draw a frog that takes up the whole paper. Or let's say you look up a tomato frog and you learn that tomato frogs are red like a tomato, and so you draw a picture with a frog that's red. Just look up some facts about some frogs and make a picture based on what you learn. But that's all I have for you guys today. Please make sure to post your pictures on Blooms of what you created. We want to see all your beautiful creations. But that's all for now. I just ask that you just pay attention to Blooms, and make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell just so you get all of our videos, so you can get more crafts. Bye guys.
If you're not watching this on the Sunrise Studios app, well, why not? You can download the Sunrise Studios app on your phone or tablet from your app store, and you can watch all of our virtual camp videos the moment they're released. You can also find Sunrise Studios on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, or you can watch it on our Sunrise Association YouTube channel. See you soon!